Hello and welcome back to the channel again. Today we're working on the Nissan. I'm working on the exhaust because I don't know if you can see, well, the back box is now removed because it's completely rusted through. Let me see if I can get a shot of the pipe. You can see how rusty the pipe is there, and at the end there it's gone completely. Back box is off. This bit actually doesn't look to be in too bad a nick, and this is the original exhaust. 60,000 miles. Well done, Nissan. Now I've got a replacement exhaust that came in a kit, and this is the first piece. It's got a joint on it, and this looks like it goes there. This one looks slightly bigger, the original, but we'll see when we get it off. So that's going to go there before the box, and if we cut into the garage by teleportation, here's the back box that comes with the kit with a flange on. Here's the mid box. So that first piece I showed you with the joint joins onto this end here. There's the mid box, and then over the axle and to the back box with another joint on. It comes with some rubbers, all the bolts, gaskets, really good value. I got this off eBay from a company called Gerlach, who are in Poland. 80 quid for all of this, including the piece that's already outside, so pretty good value. Quite a lot of companies want £160 just for this middle piece. I honestly can't see why. You know, it's not exactly a large pipe, and there's one box. Anyway, I'm going to try and get that front flange off, and then we'll see if the pipe fits, because if it doesn't, it's going to be a really short video. Okay, we've got the first stud out. Here it is. It's got a spring on it to give it a bit of flexibility. You don't have to worry when taking this out that the spring's going to shoot the bolt and hit you in the face, because by the time you've got this all the way out, pretty much all the spring tension is off. These are a 14mm, and I've been using a ring spanner because that's pretty much all you can get on it. I'm going to take the other one off, and then we'll see if we can finagle the exhaust past these brackets without having to either cut it in half or take these brackets off, which is another 4 bolts I don't really want to take off. We'll get this stud out and then see how loose everything is to get it out. So we've got the exhaust out at last. That took a bit of a battle, and I had to cut off that end piece. This is the bit that went to the back box. So I've cut that off, mainly so I retain this rubber hanger and the rest, just in case that flange doesn't. I think it's going to be okay, but if it doesn't fit, at least I can put this back on until we sort out the right one. So believe it or not, you join me, well, more than a week later. This is the original exhaust off the car. I've taken it back off again. I originally put it back on because this is the one excuse me, this is the one supplied with the replacement exhaust, and as if I spin it round, you can see there's no way these are going to line up. You know, this will physically fit inside the fitting, but the nuts don't line up, and I don't really want to drill out the originals that this fits onto, because then in the future, if the exhaust ever needs changing again, I've made it completely non-standard. Holes are no problem, but when they're threaded holes, I like to leave them where they are. So I contacted the guy who makes the exhaust, and after a few emails backwards and forwards and some photographs, he sent me this. It's not perfect, and it's not really what I described to him. I had hoped to get that on the end of this pipe. You know, send me this pipe again, but with this fitting on the end, and reduce it. But at least this looks like it probably will bolt through onto that, and it came with a gasket to take up any kind of misalignment, and I've got some exhaust guns, so I'm hoping that that will go onto the original. Then off eBay I got this. So this is from a company called MIJ Exhaust, who will make you any adapter from what size to any other size. So that's slotted and will go on on this original pipe, and then this goes inside this one, which I need to slot with the angle grinder, and then I've got another clamp to go around there, and so we'll end up with a front pipe that actually fits. So the first challenge is to see if this will fit snugly on the original, because if it doesn't, well, we're on to plan C then, but let's see how it goes. Well, after a generous amount of faffing around, the original bolts don't fit, even after I relieve the holes a little bit, hoping that they might go in. They're at too much of an angle to fit into the original holes. So I've improvised, and I'm going to make up these bolts, a bit of threaded rod, I think these are cap nuts, aren't they, and then a locking nut, and I'll thread lock them, a washer, and that goes on the back of the original one and goes through the threads, and then goes through there, spring on there, washer, and then a couple of nuts on there, thread locking them again. So just to recap, that'll be on the back of the original, so 2 nuts locked together, thread locked with a washer on, through to that side, and then the seal fits in lovely, and I'll be able to tighten them up so this has got some movement on the springs, but it isn't leaking, and I'll gunge this up with exhaust goo as well. So I've slotted this one with the angle grinder, so I can now fit in this piece, and then fit all of this onto the original, and then we just have to adapt the piece that goes in here. So we'll have to take the bit he gave us as the front pipe, lop this off at an appropriate length, so it'll go in there and clamp on there, and then we carry on as per normal. Yeah, normal. Okay. Right, that's the front piece on, and it seems fairly stable, so I'm quite happy with that. Well, we'll have to wait and see how successful that is. We now need to cut the front pipe to fit into here, and put another clamp on there, then it comes down here, and it fits into that bracket for the middle box, and then that goes after the back box. Now I've already put the back box on, which I'll show you now. Okay, so the back box is there. Let me see if I follow it, and it ends here. That's really easy, that's just on 2 rubbers, hangs straight on. So we now need to connect this middle piece onto the back box, which is just 2 bolts and a little gasket thing, which I shall put some gunge on. Okay, so we're attached at the back just loosely, and I've put the front pipe in the clamp, and I'm going to lift it up, and then I'm going to mark it with a Sharpie because I need to cut that off there so it'll fit in that fitting that we've got hanging out the engine. There, look. So I'll offer this up, add a little bit to go in there, mark it with a pen, and then I'll take this out, cut it off with the angle grinder, and then we're nearly done then. Well, it's all on now. That front joint there, and over the back. I've had the car running, none of it's leaking. The rest of it does fit pretty well, I've got to say. The only awkward part was the fact that the front pipe doesn't fit my car. Now the weird thing about this is when I look for exhaust for this, it's a 2010 note, none of the exhausts look like the one that I took off. None of them, well, they're all like this. They've all got a pipe there, a box there, sorry, and a long pipe up to the next joint. The exhaust I've taken off looks like this. So box there, pipe, what I think is a resonator. I don't think it's a cat because there's no lambda anywhere around here. Let's have a look in the end of it. Now I'm sure I mentioned this before, but this exhaust, when I took it off, has got another box there which I thought was a resonator. But using Matt Smith's stick of truth, if I put a stick in it, it's got a cat in it. But this car's got a cat here, because the lambda's up there. Here's another cat, and then the exhaust goes off and over and down. So I don't know now whether this will pass the MOT. Now the MOT is until September, so I'm going to have to run it like this and get it tested, and then if we do need the cat in, I've kept the cat, and we're going to have to have another play with this back and put the original pipe back on, and then I'll have to make an adapter to go that way. So it's been a bit of a mixed video this. I've got a new exhaust. It was a complete faff. It wasn't expensive, it was 80 quid plus a few bits for like a tenner. That central pipe should have been £160 from anybody else. That's without the back box and the front pipe. So I think we'll have to wait and see till September. Thanks for watching.